Hey everybody, it's Al with BobCAD. So in the last video, we went through the wireframe construction and the solid design of this part using extrude, cut, using surfaces to extrude, cut, adding the draft where necessary. Now I want to look at machining the part in 3-axis. So what we're going to do is create a new job. This is going to be a 3-axis job. We'll go ahead and run our stock wizard. I want to add a little bit of stock around the part. And then on the bottom of the part, I'm going to add some stock as well. Or let's see, that's the top. Hold on. Okay, so we have our stock set up. I'm going to go ahead and origin right off the center, which is fine. And we'll choose OK. All right. So from here, we want to look at roughing out the part or some of the different toolpath options. Now, you can combine 3-axis cutting with 2-axis cutting. So, if we look at this slot here, maybe we want to ramp down with a profile to machine that. We have this pocket. Maybe we want to pocket that out. These drafts here, we could use 3-axis cutting, but maybe we want to just profile that with a tapered end mill. So you have a lot of choices. A lot of times you have some choices. Either you can generate a program quickly and get cutting it, or you can spend more time trying to figure out how to cut the part. And depending on how many you need to make, etc., will have an effect on that. So in this case, we're going to look at just some 3-axis routines. So we're going to go to 3-axis. And I know every time I go through a part, I start from scratch. I really shouldn't do that. I should be loading in strategies that I've already set up. But, we'll go through this. So I'm going to do an advanced rough. After I do the advanced rough, maybe I'll do a... let's see, advanced rough. Let's do a Z-level finish. We'll do an advanced Z-level finish, and then maybe I want to add a planar toolpath in there as well. Okay, so from here we're gonna set up our rough tool. So we'll say 1/2-inch end mill. Z-level finish, we'll use a 1/2-inch ball. Slice planar, we'll use a 1/2-inch ball. We're going to do adaptive roughing. Let's say we'll take a 1/2-inch. We'll do 3 intermediate steps. We'll leave some stock. Drop down the tolerance. All right. Z-level finish. We're going to do some settings here. Let's make this 50. Okay, that looks fine. Let's go ahead and finish this here. And make this 0 degrees. Alright, so let's compute all our settings here. So we have a roughing, 3D pocket, then we're going to have a Z-level finish, which is for the vertical walls, and then we'll have a slice planar, which is going to run across the top of the part. So this is what it looks like with the settings that we've used. What I'm going to do is blank out all the toolpaths, and what's nice about this is when I click on Advanced Rough, I'll be able to see the Advanced Rough toolpath. So we can see we're not able to cut inside of this slot here, so that's one thing to consider. When we go to our Z-level finish, we need to make an adjustment to this. See how it's just staying on the edge of the model. So let's go ahead and change that one. This one we need to go to our options, and we're going to say part bottom finish. When we go to our planar, you can see now that that's dipping down inside of here and running across. But we're going to make an adjustment to that one as well. We're going to go to links, blended spline. And then our option, we're going to do 3D extents. So from here, we don't want to recompute all our toolpath. We just want to recompute the advanced Z-level finish. So we'll select that one and recompute. and that gives us our toolpath for that area. And then we'll go to our advanced planer. We're going to right click, recompute that one, and that will give us our toolpath for that area. Now I want to use an angle range on the Z level finish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to options, angle range. This one I'm going to say is going to be, I'm going to say machine outside of the slope angles. And then this one here, I'm going to turn this on and say machine them. And then I'll go ahead and finish. Let's recompute this one here. Okay, so you can see now how it's staying away from the flat surface on the top. And then we'll go to this one here and recompute. And now you can see how it's not trying to go down within those areas. So again, this is just a quick toolpath. We did a rough to remove the stock. We did a Z-level finish for the vertical walls, and we did the planer to go ahead and machine that top surface there. We'll run this through a simulation. Again, we use some angle ranges to determine where the toolpath is going to cut and where it's not going to cut. Would I necessarily machine this part this way? Not sure. I would probably spend a little more time to get into how I'm cutting it and where it's cutting. I might mix a combination of 2D and 3D toolpaths to get this to cut where I want to. All right, let me stop right here. See how this is going all the way down to the bottom? I don't want it to go all the way down to the bottom because I want to hold the part. So what I'm going to do is go back into this one here, and under your parameters you have some depth options. I'm going to say min-max from machining surfaces versus the stock and the machining surfaces. What this will do is force the toolpath to stop at the bottom of the part here. So if we go ahead and once this is done and I go to a front view, you can see how now it stops at the bottom of the part versus extending down beyond it. We could, for that slot that's over there, we could end up drilling out those holes. We could end up profiling it. But again, just a quick example of some 3D toolpaths that you can lay down rather quickly. Again, a big advantage of the software is to save these machining features and to use them over and over again. I was talking to a customer who's a younger guy, and his dad's a little bit older, and really for all their parts they're using advanced rough and slice planer. The 3D work that they do, they're using very similar tooling, and the only thing that they really need to pay attention to is the start point for climb and conventional cutting. Other than that, they use the same feature, they load it in every time. It's a lesson I should take advantage of myself. I mean, I go through a bunch of different parts, and I rarely take the time to really set up a library. I do a lot of things on the fly, but the more you're cutting parts that are similar, the more you should be saving these settings, because it's really the settings that you're using that you can get lost in as a new user, or even a user that's been using the software for a while. So a good takeaway: save your features, go in, edit them, customize them, save your features, and use them as much as possible. Looks like I have a little retrack issue over here, so I want to address that in just a second. Maybe not. There's some curvature on the top there. I'm not sure if I chose a step up. Let's see. Doesn't look like I chose. Yeah, I got a step up going on. Okay, so we did the roughing. Now we're doing the Z-level finish. This is getting the vertical walls. It looks like it's going to go from the outside, and then it's going to come back into the inside and getting these areas. So that's looking pretty good. Looks like it tried to get down into that slot, which it could only get in through the taper. To me, it looks like we got some material still left on the floor here that we would need to clean up. The surface across the top doesn't look too bad, but again, for a quick toolpath and getting things going, I'm happy with my results here. In the next video, I'll go in and look at some of the other strategies you can use to clean up this model or to cut it a little bit differently. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, please reply back to the Facebook, the YouTube, or whatever thread this video may be posted in. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.